Okay, this is going to be a long video, so buckle up. We're returning to Ruina with the part of the game where things really open up, and boy do we have some cards for you. Over 50 of them, to be precise. Let's start with some of the library cards. Floor of Art is an enchantment-focused class that helps you get an enchantment into your hand through milling, lets your creatures pay for enchantments or for abilities, and grants everything hexproof on your turn as the final level. Our Galaxy is an enchantment to go along with this floor, drawing you cards as enchantments enter, and buffing creatures that are enchanted or are themselves enchantments, plus anyone with pebble counters. We also have Grinder Mark 5-2, which, with enough artifacts on field, can give a quick and cheap double strike to a creature. Fairy Queen creates a group of fairies, generates food, and can consume food, blood, and other creatures. Wingbeat makes a fairy, gains life, and buffs up your board if you have a lot of life. It can also return to your hand with a coin flip. Singing Machine is all about goading, turning the battlefield into a mad brawl as long as creatures keep dying or you have life to spare. Harmony ups this to 11, making damn sure that everyone attacks everyone else, and you can do an encore with the Harmonize effect. Let's get into receptions, starting with everyone's favorite freaky fellas, the Carnival! These guys are a black, white, and true colorless faction that focus on sacrificing creatures to add counters to other creatures, with tools like tailoring and fascinating fabric to make sure it's worth the cost to sacrifice. Onto Full Stop, also in white-black, these make use of the new ammo tokens, which did exist previously thanks to the revisions, but now get actual synergy. Ammo on its own is a tool to attack more aggressively while being safe with First Strike. Full Stop generate and use ammo with various effects. They also focus on First Strike as a way to control combat. Full Stop Sniper can obliterate creatures from existence with an exile effect, and Full Stop Rep can make unlimited ammo with enough mana, and use that ammo to follow up and destroy any creature that you've dealt damage to this turn. We also have Return Fire as a white damage dealing instant that can be brought out easier with ammo, and Full Stop to Life to kill a creature and restock ammo on the side. Getting into Dawn Office, minus Philip for now, Salvador is a fixer tribal leader, who makes his allies indestructible, and if he gets a hit in on your opponent, buffs the board. Flash of Sunup is a cantrip that can either block an enemy spell, or creature, or deal damage. Yuna is a simple but effective combatant who wants to attack alone, and can trade +1/+1 counters for a counter of various keywords. Sunset Blade is an aggressive equipment to help ping enemy creatures, and works very well with a reduced equip cost on legendary fixers, evoking how Stigma Workshop chooses only the best to wield their fine weaponry. Gaze Office is mono blue and focuses on clues, artifacts, and scrying, wanting to control the way you draw cards. They can actually be very competent fighters with enough buildup. Their associated spells double down on this idea, buying you time and helping you draw cards until you can get an opening to win the game. Now that we've got the first row down, let's talk general receptions. Jakan and his associated spell are obviously all about blood, no big shocker there. Workshop Fixers help get equipment out easily and buff another creature if you control enough artifacts, with a signature spell that can deal big damage to creatures based on your artifacts, and if you can win a clash against your opponent, will explode everyone's most precious artifact with it. Hanafuda is our discard commander in red, white, blue, combining the normal draw-discard colors with white to bring Diechi into the mix. Her gimmick is similar to that of her ID counterpart, discarding sets of cards in the same color to achieve certain effects. She also comes with Relay, a copying spell that can also be used as discard fodder and to draw you your card back. Now, Kurakumo is kind of hard to figure out a solid theme for, but we settled on forcing opponents to make a choice on whether they suffer or you benefit, or different types of suffering. Kurakumo Collector taxes opponents who make tokens, making sure you get a cut of the profits, or at least cut off an arm. Scattering Slash is a simple combat trick that can also be used as outright removal if need be. Dark Cloud is our first tutor, being more effective at fetching rogues in its normal state, but can be used to grab anything with its cleave cost if the need arises. Seo doubles down on the choice theme with some pretty dangerous options. Musicians of Bremen are all about casting spells during combat, with Meow taking the role of lead performer to buff creatures and draw cards. Bremen's Pig serves as a blood generator, while Bremen's Rabbit bashes away artifacts or enchantments as long as you've played some music this turn. The associated spells are mainly a bunch of combat tricks with varying utility, as well as the unforgettable melody enchantment to whittle down opponents and provide a way to utilize blood. There's also a land made specifically for them that can reduce costs for instants and sorceries that target creatures. Alright folks, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Oscar of Wedge Office! He's a tough cookie that buffs legendary creatures when attacking and makes your units with First Strike difficult to chump block. Pamela and Pamely are a simple duo of legendary fixers who come as one card. Pretty vanilla, but having First Strike means you've got some real nasty board presence. Their associated spell, Sparkling Spear, leads further into the legendary theme, as it can be a great removal cantrip against powerful foes. Okay, let's get into the real star of the show. Philip is a 1/1 for 2 mana with haste and training, and he gets stronger when a legendary fixer you control dies. When he has enough +1/+1 counters, he transforms. Philip, Wax and Pinion, is a powerhouse with conditional flying who deals his +1/+1 counters in damage when he attacks. He slowly seeps power or cards from your hand, and will eventually turn back if you can't keep him fueled. This design was made by Shrimp Fry in our Discord, so shout out to him. He made a few other cards this batch, which I hopefully have credited on screen, otherwise it's in the bottom left of the card. For some Philip accessories, Searing Sword and Blazing Strike serve to help close out games, with Searing Sword turning a creature's hits into ones that hit all players, and can create a final hurrah when an enchanted creature dies or the enchantment is simply removed. Blazing Strike is 10 damage for 10 mana, but can be paid for in +1/+1 counters instead of mana if the need arises. Last, but certainly not least, Lovetown. Tommy and Mary are ordinary citizens who get you a bit of card manipulation, but when together, they meld into Tamari of Lovetown, who, upon dealing combat damage to a player, can revive creatures from your graveyard based on how much damage it deals. This was also a Shrimp Fry creation, so shout out once again. There's a couple of associated spells for Lovetown, with a consistent theme of wanting you to be at low life for discounts, and self-milling. Faint Memories can get cards into your hand through self-mill, Whip of Love deals mass damage based on cards in your graveyard and creates tons of blood, and Wrath of Torment takes a ton of life off of you in order to hit each opponent with different but equally nasty effects. From a Place of Love is a saga that allows you to conglomerate the strength of a creature in your graveyard onto a creature you control, and bring a sorcery back from the graveyard onto your library. And that's it for this batch. I'm super happy with how things turned out. Marshall is a fiend when it comes to pumping out cards, and we have way more than I ever expected we would have. We did end up dropping the adventure theme for this batch. With how many cards there ended up being and how modal they tend to be, I didn't feel the need to bring that back. I do intend to do more with adventures in the future, either in Ruina or other batches, but it's not going to be a particularly consistent thing. I also want to get to rebalancing some cards before the next batch. Playtesting has revealed some obvious outliers that need to be taken care of, and we know that Boros aggro can be nasty in Standard, which is certainly not going to be helped by the new Dawn Office cards. If you want to play with these cards against other players in our community, come around to our Discord below. Just be sure to grab the MTG role, since it's a subsection of the main server. Next up, we've got Kanto 5 on the horizon. It's coming along fairly well, though a few of the highlight factions are still giving us trouble. Still, the cards we do have look great, and there's some real fun bastards to be seen. We'll see you next time. Take care.